I just disconnect. Okay, now the recording is on now. Pause. Okay, the recording is on now, so let me start with the session. So now we are going to have the Tableau session. You can please people who have directly come here. You can switch off your. You can make your mobiles in silent, and we'll go with the data visualization through Tableau, and there will be an introduction on Tableau, on architecture of Tableau, components of Tableau, modern BI, versus traditional BI, visualization of different charts would be explained, and tips on best practices on dashboard would also get explained. And if there is any question answers, you can feel free to ask. And the question answers can be asked at the last moment, that is at the final half an hour, that is between 4:30 to 5 or 4 o'clock, whatever it is, you can ask the doubts. And let me start with the session. And myself, I'm Khalil Ahmed. I'm working for a MNC, and I'll be I'm the instructor for data warehousing, and we have other instructor for big data technologies and also for data science. And Siva Kumar, who is going to go with the Tableau session, which is going to be held up now. So let me all invite Siva Kumar to take up the stage. Thank you.
Hi all, I hope my voice is audible to you. Good afternoon, and myself Shivakumar, having around 14 years of experience in IT. So I started my career as a business object developer and worked about 7+ of years with the SAP business object as a developer, model lead, and project lead. And then I switched it to data visualization. I got an opportunity to work with data visualization with Tableau over an extensive of 4.2 years, and about with other tools such as ClickView and Spotfire also. So being space with entirely my experience with BI. So that's where my experience with that. Not only with that, I worked with a lot of 4 to 5 projects. It's a kind of end-to-end project. It started from a paper presentation till building the data warehouse, and on top of that, build the dashboard and report, and building the reports. Okay, so what I'm going to do is today I'm just giving you a presentation on Tableau. So everyone well aware about what is data visualization. Okay. So first, what I can do is let me just open an Excel sheet. Okay. Okay. With introduction, before going to introduction with the Tableau, I just started with a kind of a little bit to go a roadmap like a structure. So that will give a little bit familiarity what the data visualization is. So we started with the data, and we go with the DBMS, data management system, and then we call that DBMS as, then we call it as a OLTP. Then we go with OLAP, and the next part even go to bar, data bar. Okay, let it be. So, how the data is organized? The data in I can say there are two paradigm maps. One which is called modern BI, and the other which is called traditional BI. So what is the purpose of AI is nothing but the way that we access the data and how we visualize, how we access the data and using the data, how we are getting an insight to the data, how much of value, the business value that we are getting from that. The first thing is we need to know what is data and what is information, what is knowledge. That's it. Data is nothing but a kind of any word, and information is nothing but that describe about what is data, whether it is a verb, whether it is a noun, what is it. And knowledge is nothing but you are getting a data from multiple, you are getting data from the source. And discovery is nothing but you are doing some search, getting. So you are getting data from multiple source, and based on that, you will integrate the data, and on top of that, you are building some reports. So in order to make some decision, so based on the decisions, you are going to make some business. You are getting some business value on that. Okay. So first, what I'm going to do is, so if you say OLTP, and we know that what is DBMS. The purpose of DBMS is database management system. So if you go with database management system in traditional, we start with Foxflow. That is the earliest one. So we go with the DBMS system. We store the records and columns in a table actually. So that was the initial, and the extension was something called RDO or something. I forgot the name about the thing. After this DBMS, the Oracle came into picture. What are the purpose? What the difference between this Oracle and DBMS is that the security, and you cannot directly delete any tables or something else. In Foxflow, you can directly go into that and you can able to delete the tables or that. Whereas in Oracle, it has a security and it has followed Boise code, that is 11 and of rules is there. So we know that what is the rule of Boise code. So it has four Boise code is there. So what is the purpose of that? How we can store the data and how we can access the data. So how the securities which is implemented, what are the norms that we are going to make use of that in such a way that we can store the data and access the data. Apart from that, we are doing a type of security on top of that. So that's come as an oracle. Later, whatever the thing we are going, every transaction, for example, every transaction we call it as a OLAP. So OLAP is nothing but OLTP, online transaction processing. So in a particular, if you go with the banking system, if you are an account, so on every day, whatever the transaction that is doing in the bank, they mention as a one record. They will insert a one record actually. So and the other part which is called OLAP, that is OLTP, OLAP, online analytical processing. These both are one and the same, but it is different in such a way that the OLAP, which is built based on the source of OLTP. The difference is that in OLTP, you can see only the current transactions. What are the transactions that you can see in the current transaction you can see in OLTP. Whereas in OLAP, so the thing is that the OLAP is the meant for, it is subject oriented, okay, and non-volatile, integrated, and few other things actually. These are the thing actually. For example, when you're going with OLAP, it's again we can in OLAP again we will have a different types of OLAP we have, that is ROLAP, then MOLAP, and HOLAP. HOLAP. So again here we know that OLAP is meant for online analytical processing. So the ROLAP stands for relational OLAP, and MOLAP stands for multi-dimensional OLAP, and HOLAP for uh, hyper OLAP. Hyper OLAP. So the ROLAP, if you take SAP Business Object, and SAP Business Object is a kind of a ROLAP, and if you go with Cognos, it's a kind of MOLAP, and if you go with Hyperion, it's a kind of HOLAP. So these are the tool. So that follows under this kind of ROLAP, MOLAP, HOLAP, and these are the structure actually. So for building this OLAP and OLTP, there is a little bit different on that. In OLAP, in OLTP, what you are going to do is, so we need to know what is the difference between OLTP and OLAP. We know that OLTP, it will have only the current transactions. In OLAP, we have the current transaction as well as we do have a history of information over there. So at any point in time, you can able to find the history of a data. And one other, the important thing is that at particular instant, if you want to know about how your market is doing as today and the same year in yesterday, in last year. So, and you can make able to compare between them, and on top of that, you can make a decision on that. So, this kind of a thing that we can able to do with the help of OLAP. And one more thing is with OLTP, everything is a normalized one. So when we go with any table, let's go with the normalized one. So in OLTP, what we call is, if you go with entity model, you can say it as an entity is a table, and attribute is called a column here actually. In OLAP, how we can go with that is, we do have called a dimension measure like that actually. So dimension are nothing but whatever the column which is a textual data, those are called a dimension, and whatever the measure values, the numeric, those all comes under this measure actually. So in OLAP, all the table, all the values which is again denormalized. In OLTP, all the tables are normalized. And if you go with OLTP, you will have a joins, that how joins, you will have multiple joins. If you go with OLAP, you will have a centralized fact table which is surrounded by the dimension table. So it's a kind of a fact table. This is a kind of a dimension table, and this is a kind of dimension table, and dimension table. This is a kind of dimension table. So this is nothing but the OLTP. Sorry, OLAP. So what we call this as a star schema. Star schema. So we need to know that star schema is nothing but a centralized fact table surrounded by a dimension table. And there is other table which is called a snowflake, which is nothing but an extension of star schema. This is a kind of snowflake schema. That's it. This is the difference between. If you have a kind of a lookup table actually. For example, if you have a dimension which will tell you about the year and the make and the manufacturer. So what we do is, so we have the year and the manufacturer, and the manufacturer details will be over here. So it's a kind of an extension of a dimension. So, so with this, on top of this star plus this extension constitute the snowflake schema. This is a it's considered a snowflake schema. Okay. So in dimension what? So in dimension what are the, in dimension table what are the values we need to know? The primary key will be there, and there should be a textual value. And in fact table what we have is, we do have a primary key and we do have a foreign key. The foreign key which references the dimension key, and we do have called measures. Okay. So these are all the thing which is available over there. And for example, if I say, If I say I have another fact table. If I have another fact table, if I have a dimension over here, so okay, edit. So see this dimension, it is called a confirmed dimension. For example, sorry, am I back here actually. So any dimension which is common between two fact table are called confirmation dimension. So these are all the data warehouse terminologies that we need to know about it. So why I'm saying all these things, without knowing this, there should be a basic understand. We should know about what is OLTP, what is OLAP, and what is dimension, and what is fact, and we need to know about what are the types of OLAP, ROLAP, MOLAP, HOLAP, like that. Okay. The second thing we are going with the what is traditional BI and what is modern BI. I am saying modern BI. There is no technology guide modern BI. I just want to differentiate into terminology. So what is the difference in terms of what are the visualization tool right now we have? If you take Tableau and Click, and if you take this Power BI, okay, these are all visualization tool. And if you take SAP BO and Cognos and Hyperion, Hyperion, okay. So what we used to do when you are going with this thing, when you are going with traditional tool, traditional BI, what we are supposed to do. So there might be in a traditional BI or something else. What we need to know. There will be a different data source. Data source one. So it might be a text file. It might be a DB, whatever, whatever the data source. So, and what we are going to do is there should be something called ODS, and there is a place called DW, and on top of that we will build a data mart, whatever data mart like this, and here will be the report. So this is the place you're reporting. This is the ODS. And this is your data mart. And this is your reporting. Okay. Okay. So, so if you take this as a source, data source one, data source two, it might be a text file, it be a PB, whatever thing. So what we are doing is we are just collecting data from different source, maybe a text file, maybe a database, whatever the source you are, maybe different type of database also, Oracle, Sybase, or there is a one place we call a centralized data warehouse where we collect all those data from different data source and we are putting all those data into data warehouse. So what we are doing is when we are collecting a data from different data source, if you take in Oracle, in MS SQL, or in PeopleSoft, whatever the database you are dealing with, the customer number, there won't be the same name. the customer name will be in one column, in one database it will be CUST, in other database it will be C number, like that actually. So all those things, what you are doing is we are doing a kind of thing. We are putting, collecting this information, and here we are doing a phase, the ETL. Through ETL, what we are doing is, so this is a layer. So this is the layer ETL. What we are supposed to do is we are collecting this, we are extract the data source from different database, and we are transforming, and we are loading into ODS. Loading here the ODS. What we are doing is we will have only the current data information, current information only. We don't have any kind of historical data. A delta, it's a kind of a delta load. Every day we are doing. And only in the data warehouse we will use to store the current data plus history and all the details. So with data warehouse, we used to have a kind of a dimensional and a fact schema that we are maintaining over there. And either here also there is one more thing which is called a data warehouse. Is a kind of a centralized warehouse which will have all the data which is collected, integrated, and put it in a place. And on top of the data warehouse, you can build a data mart. So here, data mart is a subset of data warehouse. So we need to know that. So it depends on that the way whether you are doing creating a data mart for financial or banking. So for each and everything, it's called as a subject area. So what subject area that you deal with. So depends on that you can create a data mart and reporting layer. On top of that, whatever the reporting layer, you can use the SAP business object or Cognos or Hyperion, whatever thing. So again, here in business object, how will it act as? It will act as a microcube. So it's a kind of a microcube. So we know that the cube, what is a cube is nothing but whatever the measure value which is in the set, what are the dimension which is in the edges. So the purpose of OLAP, the benefit of OLAP is you can cut and slice and dice at any column at a row to get the retrieval of data for your analysis in a very faster way. Here, one thing what we are do is in any kind of a tradition to data mart, what we are doing this is the main difference actually. This is very important thing. What we are do is the aggregation. So what we are doing is we are doing a pre-aggregate and we store. So how we are aggregating the data over in the data mart is we used to aggregate across a time dimension, year wise and quarter wise, month whatever which the reporting needs. So we are doing the pre-aggregate and store it. Why we are doing pre-aggregate means when you are dealing with OLAP, so the purpose of OLAP is we need the report response and the result in a very faster way than we are dealing with OLTP. So once we build this pre-aggregate tables and everything, it's very easy. At the background, these are all things we are doing deal with DW data warehouse, and in the front end, the user does not aware whether there is a kind of aggregation table is built over there or pre-aggregate is already there. So he can feel that he can get the result immediately. Okay. And for this, what happens is when we are going with the data warehouse, it takes a data. For ETL, for building a report, for ETL alone, it takes weeks to months actually. Weeks to month. And after you are doing with so for doing a purpose for sorry. So for building a reports, first you need to know what is the data source and you need to integrate it, and you're doing some ETL and you need to build a data warehouse. On top of that, you are going to build a report. So it's come again a long process to get even building a small report. So what kind of thing? These are all the pros and cons that we faced till we are using deal with data warehouse. Now what they want is with the modern BI, what they want is so everything, all the calculation and the process, everything which is on the disk base plus CPU, and okay, that's for me my okay. So what happened is why we are going for pre-aggregated is because of the CPU performance. That is the only reason we are going with this thing actually, going with pre-aggregate actually. And one more thing, because every memory it's sharing this memory, CPU, and everything. If you have, for example, if you have 10 users, you are accessing any environment. This entire CPU and the memory is shared. The server entire is shared among the 10 users. So what happens if the user is getting more and more? What happens? Definitely, your report will hang, and there won't be any response with the DB. So it's a process that will impact each and everything. Ultimately, it will do your environment will be at the time. What we used to do is used to do some normalization, some query performance tuning, and everything. And we are going with index and what are the index and a lot of things that we are doing at the back end. And the report level, we never touch anything else. In a traditional DBA, whatever the concept we are in terms of query perform, we do it back end only at the fetching the columns and everything, which will show it in the report level. Whatever the optimization, indexing, everything we are doing at the backend level. So, okay, this is one part. Now we come to the modern BA. So, with the modern BA, I can take this Tableau. So, what we are just to do is, so far with business object, Cognos, or whatever the tool, Hyperion or MicroStrategy, or whatever the tool, what was we so far deal with a kind of table data. So the purpose of the table data is that it's a rows and columns. So and hardly we will have a chart, but that is very limited for us actually. We will go for only a kind of a pie chart and a bar chart only. And in every day in the modern world, we are dealing with a massive amount of data. In 2018, it was predicted as there was 4 billion terabyte of transaction that's handled throughout the world. In 2030, there will be, we cannot think about what is the data volume that we are dealing with. And if this, the traditional BI, whatever we have in place, that not be able to accommodate all this thing because of a huge volume of data. And the other thing is, the user if the user is we were report in a tabular format, in a table format, you need to go through each and every row by row. So that's how the modern BI came with visualization. Instead of seeing the report in a tabular, in a table format, they want to see in a chart. And a single chart will tell you that where their business is going well and where their business they have to concentrate on that. So it is pretty good easy for any user to be by seeing the report, by seeing the chart report, they can easily identify where they have to concentrate on that, where they can do promotion, and how the business is performing across the organization against their competitor and everyone. And if you go with Tableau, what happen is so far, the traditional BA mainly deal with a kind of a disk oriented. Everything which is stored in a disk and like that. So after modern BA, what I can say, everything is based on RAM. So again, what I am saying is everything in memory. So in memory means you're getting the source data.
That voice is breaking.
Yeah.
Voice is
Uh,
good.
Hello. is it my voice is good or something else I have to work? Hello, audience?
Austin to be.
Can you ping any of one if you're not hearing clearly from my voice?
It's fine.
Your voice is good in headphones.
Now
Yeah,
it's
your
clear.
voice is clear.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. Okay. So for how we are deal with this is the data. So where it's stored is it is stored in the disk, and on top of that, what we are doing is we are building the reports. Just think of like that actually. This kind of okay. So here, this is the data we are getting from this thing actually. And either it's a disk, let it be the RAM kind of report. Okay. So what happened is when you are building a report, so what happened is it involves data getting data and all the data which is handled with the disk with the CPU. Okay. So these are two things which just get involved when you are dealing a report with traditional BA. So when you are dealing with this thing, what happened is so what happened is everything, all your data, which is get into the loaded into RAM. So loaded into RAM. So since all your data which is loaded into RAM, it is very easy to build a report. The advantages is here. The thing is that you can avoids the pre-aggregation. No need of pre-aggregation is needed here. Pre-aggregation is needed here because at the runtime it directly just calculate your query and it is sent back to a DB and get the fetch the result, and here it's showing the report as a visualization. So showing as a visualization. Okay. These are the basic thing that we need to know about what is traditional BA and what is modern. So this is the I'm saying about a little bit hint. It's not in a depth way, but we should know about what is the difference between this traditional BA and this thing. And the next thing is we need to know about just the architecture. Just hold on for me a moment actually. Let me. Just bear for me 2 to 3 minutes. slow. Just hold on for a few minutes actually. We are okay now.
It's his account actually. LinkedIn account is his account, and he has posted lots of articles on that himself. Some others have some troubles in scrolling down.
So meanwhile, I'm just going ahead. I'm doing it parallelly. So with Tableau, what the purpose of Tableau is? It's been a leading leading reporting tool more over than 10 years in the market actually. And according to Gartner report, it was the second tool in the market after Power BI. So Power BI has started before 2 to 3 years ago actually. So these are the next competitor is Click actually. These are the three main major tools in the market, and they are competing each other. And every tool has its own business and has its own business, and they are competing well actually. Since my Power BI has came to 2 to 3 years, and it has Microsoft as a base, and they have very good ETL and architecture and OS, everything they have in place with them. And SSRS, we know that SAS, which is a tool, SSRS for reporting and SSAS for Cube and SSIS for ETL. And now they are connecting with the Power BI as a reporting tool, and which is a competitor for Tableau. And although Power BI is the marketing is a number one tool in the market, but they have needs some more time to get that much of matured with the Tableau. Since the Tableau handles much well, they have presence more than 10 years. They are doing the business and competing well actually. And since Power BI is a growing tool, it has to mature. It needs at least couple of 2 to 3 years to get that matured actually. Sure, that tool also get a matured, and every tool is competing which is the tool, and every tool has a very good business. And Tableau is a kind of a tool where the user feels very easy to build a report in an hour actually, within 1 or 2 hours. The advantage is that they can combine with any data source. Not only with that, and I can say that uh, So these are kind of a database tool they deal with. I am just taking only 21 tool. There are a lot of more other tools they deal with. Maybe 40 plus data source. I guess I don't know. I forgot about that. So if you take that MOLAP, I said that this is a Microsoft Service Analysis Server. They're using MOLAP and PostgreSQL and Pivotal Green Plum. We know that. So for every tool, it has its own actually. There are a lot of tools which come for big data actually. So again, here we need to think in a different way actually. What is the purpose of what is the evolution? What is the main idea of the big data which is evolved in the market? As I said, and 2018 there are 4 billion transactions of in a per day. So due to that volume, there should be something which is called to handle this volume of data. It's not only storing the data; it's about the movement of data. What we can say that this big data has come into 5 V's. There are a lot of 8 V's up to the 5 V's are the more important actually. One which is called the volume, where your data which is gets stored, and the other which is called streaming, how your data is getting moved from one place to other. That is a velocity, and other which is called variety. Variety or nothing but it's a kind of different format, what the file format we have actually. So far, we deal with only what I can say, only with the structured data. Structured data. So there are other type of data which is called unstructured, semi-structured actually. So the structured data, what we discuss about the RDBMS, OLAP, those are all structured data. And semi-structured, and there are a lot of other data which are, every day you are seeing via your mobile, you are seeing some kind of a picture, videos. Those are all come under unstructured data. And some other which is machine. What are the data which you are seeing in the generated from IoT, Internet of Things? Those are all log details. Those are all unstructured data. So in future, definitely a person. I recently saw a video in Facebook actually. One person has entered into China, and within 7 minutes, they able to identify his identity, where he is working, and what he is doing. Within 7 minutes, they track this record by seeing his photograph. Only capture his photograph from the airport, and within 7 minutes, where he is coming, what type of business he is doing, what kind of a person he is, everything they have taken, and they will publish it because of this big data. So how this is because of this kind of a semi-structure, structure, and everything they have in right place. So for this, Tableau provides a kind of a visualization actually. It can deal with, you can able to access structure, semi-structure, all type of data. And with regard to kind of video or something else, there is some other thing which is called text processing actually in big data. They are doing some text processing. They are making with unstructured to structure, and from structure they are going to build a report, build a data visualization report. So these are a kind of a tool which is in the market actually, and I'm just going ahead a few data which is playing a very good market. The one which is called Redshift we know about, which is cloud based. And there are two things: the data where it is stored, what the platform is. The one thing is so far we deal with on premises, and cloud is the emerging and which will be the future of the market, because it is for every click what the number of click that you are doing, you have to pay. The thing is that the difference between on-premises and this thing, on-premises and cloud, is that for on-premise you have to define, size your architecture, you need some infrastructure management, you need to do everything, and there is some person called admin person, and that should be periodically you need to maintain or do some patchy maintenance work like that. Actually, if you go with the cloud, there is no need of kind of what I can say administration. It is zero-based administration, and no need of indexing or everything they will take care of. Only the thing is you just point to the cloud and directly build the report. So that's how. On top of that, Redshift is playing very good, and so far what I said is in-memory tool. How it goes is, so far we deal with the data which is stored in the RAM. Now the next part is data which is stored in chip. That's how the Redshift they are doing. Action Metrics is one of the provider Paracel. You heard about Paracel. Uh, that was actually renamed as Action Matrix, and later they merged with Redshift. Actually, they are storing this data in memory. It was very fast. That's how this Redshift has more space in the market. Everyone says about this. There are other competitor for cloud based also. So and right now that should be the paradigm will goes like this actually. It should not be a purely cloud, or it should not be purely on premises. That should be a hybrid uh, kind of cloud and this thing actually. Okay, let me see how far. Yeah. Okay, let it be. So we need to know about this thing file format actually. Let me directly go into the file formats and so every file, whatever the file that we are dealing with Tableau is, we need to know about the file formats. That is very important actually. So let me go one by one. So TW and TW BX, BX and TDS and TDX and TBM. These are the file format actually. So this is nothing but a kind of packed workbook, and this is nothing but packed data source connection, packed data source, and this is nothing but file actually. Uh, this is nothing but Tableau TD, Tableau data source, Tableau data source, and this is nothing but Tableau workbook, Tableau workbook. Okay, and one more thing which is called TD, Tableau data extract. So Tableau data extract. Okay, again we need to know here. So far I said that the data which is stored in memory. Okay, the thing is that how Tableau handles the data. There are two kind of mode that we can deal with accessing a data. One which is you are accessing, you directly interact with the DB. What I can say is that is a kind of connection. Oh, one which is called live and other which is called extract. So with live means we are directly what we are supposed to do in nowadays. We are directly connect with the database and getting the data. That is kind of live. The other thing is extract is nothing but you are extracting a subset of data from the database and you are storing in your memory. So and that which is called the file which is called TWBX. This is Tableau packed workbook. So what this packed workbook will have is it will have data and it will have connections to the data source. So and it will store in your memory and you can share to any user. So the user can work with this with the TWBX. The user can work offline also. You can share this TWBX. And what the purpose of TWB is nothing but you can able to work, you can able to access the data. The thing is that here data connections, it will provide a link to the data source, whereas the data connection won't store in your database, won't store in a data file actually. So that is the difference. The difference between TWBX is that it will point to the data source TWB. So point to the data source, and it will TWBX. What will do is it will store the data as well as the connection data. So that a kind of and TDS is nothing but it is again a data source connection. It will hold the metadata information about the data source actually. And TDS is nothing but it's a kind of metadata and it will store the information in the connection actually. So TDS is nothing but it's a kind of TBX TBX, and the other thing is TDE. TDE is nothing but tabular data extraction. So this is very important actually. This is again what you are doing is you are extracting data as a subset from the data source actually, database actually. The thing is that when you are extracting the data, there are difference between when you are extracting the data and store your data in TW and when you are extracting as a TD. When you are extracting the data from data source and you are storing in TDE, what happened is it store your data in columnar format. So we know that we need to know this is the main advantage of a Tableau. How far it getting the result very in a quicker way actually. So TDE is nothing but it store your data in a columnar base. Okay. So far with structured data, what we do is you need to select a particular column and it will go by row wise actually. First go by row wise and fetch the appropriate. So if you want to extend a particular record, for example, if you want to extract a particular record, for example, USA from a country, from a region, like that. Okay, this is let me put like this. So this is a kind of region, and this is state. So this is US, this is UK. Let me put like New York, and, London. So there are two things here actually. So normal what happen is when you're going to take only one record with the NY, what I have to do is the with the row base. What happen is it will go wise the row base. It will scan this entire row. It will first scan this entire row, and then it will go and fetch the record like this actually with NY alone. So for this, what happens is it has to go two pass. One pass will be the row, the second pass will be the column. That is a projection. So what happens with the tabular format is the same record. What happens is it will go only to the column. Instead of it scans the row base, it will only give me a second. Okay, it will scan only the column. The advantage is that there is no need to go by row. So whatever your projection, you can directly go to the appropriate the columnar format. It will directly go to the appropriate column. The second thing is that here the columnar storage. What happens is there is no need to kind of a barrier to store a new record or something else. and no need to worry about the sorting technique, what it follows. So everything taken by the columnar store actually. So as I said, in big data, they say that there is no need of index. So here, why they are saying there is no need of index actually? Here, what they are doing is uh, they are doing a kind of a zonal map. You heard about in Redshift, the column called zonal map. Zonal map are nothing but what you are doing is the same thing what you are doing with the partition table. So in partition, what you are doing in the OLTP, you are partitioning the data into month. So if you are going with a 12 month of data, you are partitioning by month. So in order to fetch the record in a easy way, instead of searching the entire 24 month, if you store your data as a partition wire and store it in a month-wise, you can directly fetch the appropriate month in a very faster way. The same thing what happen is in a zonal map, what they are doing is, the technique is that this is the same thing. What they are doing is they have a value called min max. That's the first pass. They will have a min max, and next it will based on the min max, it will go to the appropriate column, and from there again it was getting the sorted is taken care by them actually. So it gets sorted, and it is easy to fetch the record. So that kind of a mechanism which handle in a kind of a redshift all over there. So this is the advantage of this columnar. So with the help of the columnar, the zonal map, which is a second criteria, they are fetching the record from them actually. So by storing that data in a columnar format, it is very easy and a very faster way you can get the data over there actually. So these are all things that we need to know what is the Tableau. And we can go with the Tableau architecture. What I can say is, with the Tableau architecture, what we need to have a Tableau server, and we'll have a uh, Tableau desktop. Give me a second. Let me check once again. Stop it. What do you go to? Just hold on, bro. Yeah, uh, we can go to start again after a break. Okay, is it audible for you? Bear for me, I actually have some other issues to connect with my slides. So what I'm going to do is let me walk through the data Tableau architecture. So if you see, this is Tableau architecture, and whatever the component, you can see the client and the gateway and the main component and the data connectors and customer data. So if you see the client, how we are interacting with the data. So the user will connect and interact with the Tableau server using desktop, that is Tableau desktop, or the user can access the dashboard via my mobile, or the business user who can access the Tableau via Tableau public, so with the URL actually. So normally the developer will install the desktop version in the machine, and they will create a dashboard. So once they create a dashboard, and they will publish the dashboard into the Tableau server. So once the dashboard which is published in the Tableau server, the end user or the business user, we can access the Tableau dashboard via HTTP, via URL, or else the Tableau, the user can access the Tableau dashboard via mobile. So these are the client which is interacting with the data through Tableau server. So when an user connecting to the Tableau server, what happens is there is a first layer which is called a gateway server actually. So the gateway server, what it does, it is a entry point to the server. It acts between a layer between your Tableau server and your client. So whatever the request that you are doing via HTTP, so that will handle by the gateway server. The gateway server is the single entry point that will make you to access, or that will process your request to the other component. The component which is we are seeing here, data server, with server, application server, and those are the component. And we do have other component which is listed over data engine, SQL connector, and we have customer data. So we need to know about each and everything. The first thing is, as a user, when you are accessing any dashboard, so what happens is you are dealing with your this thing. You are dealing with a chart. When you're dragging a dimension or a measure into the dashboard, and depends on the selection of your chart. So what happens is you are seeing a report, you are seeing the visualization. At backend, what happened is the vSQL is a server which will take your query to the DB. So that is the responsible for rendering your query from the database and showing in your visualization. So that is the main process of this vSQL. And the data server has nothing but it's providing a connection to the data source. That part it alone take care. And the application server are nothing but whatever the content that you are seeing, the content in terms of folder, the dashboard, and those all the thing which is handled by the application server. And the repository is the place where it stores all your metadata information. Not only your metadata information, your user information, your audit information, and everything which is stored in the repository actually. And the next thing is, if you go with the data connector, that is a data engine is there actually. The data engine, and the data engine is responsible for interacting with your data source actually. Here we need to understand one thing which is very the Tableau, as I said, it handles memory, in memory. Everything it's loaded into in memory. Here data engine, which acts as like a kind of a disk. Normally it's act as a kind of a disk. But what happens is, if you are dealing with everything is based on your memory, the memory which is available in the server, not your desktop actually. And there is a recommended way is, if you are working with a dashboard, so if you want to with a huge amount of data, the first thing is you need to check your dashboard from the server, not your desktop. So that will speed up your, and you can fine tune or optimize your dashboard. This is one recommended way. So the thing is that what happened is it's a kind of when you are dealing with, for example, if you have a 4 GB of RAM and it has some memory allocation, if you are dealing with more than your RAM storage, if it is you are have your RAM, if it is 1 GB of your data which is handled by the RAM which is less, your dashboard performance will be fine and you are getting the report. What if you have more than your memory space? So what the Tableau will act as? The Tableau won't hang. It will take some time to render your report. So at the background, what happened to it? Doing some kind of a buffer. It will store in the data engine. It's stored in the data engine from data engine to RAM. So instead of going to the DB, it will store in data engine, and whatever the calculation which is needed, it will do as a data engine and then to, if it is needed, it will go to the data server. So thus it making a little bit faster way in doing your aggregation, and there are two servers which is responsible for your Tableau that determines your performance. One thing is your vSQL, the other thing is your background server. So here we don't have a background server. Let me pull other thing. Okay, give me a second. So that will give a pretty good idea. Just give me a second. Just hold on for 2 minutes. Okay, let me pull down this thing. Okay. So this is the component, as I said actually. So if you see this component actually, here the first thing, as I said, that is a gateway server, which is the load balancing, and the second thing is followed by application server. We discussed about that, and the third thing is vSQL, that is responsible for your visualization, that will interact with your DB and that will render your query and show your result, and data server that will make you connection between your data source to your application, and the background server is responsible for all your activities in terms of your scheduling a report or you are doing some extract, all those activities which is taken care by this backgrounder. The data engine which will store your TD, that is a area where your Tableau data extract will store. Not only will store that is area. The next thing is the robustity, which will have all this thing actually, all the metadata, user groups, and everything actually. And whatever thing that you are seeing, whatever you are searching, your work group, those are taken care by this search actually. And the second thing is the licensing part. You need to have a license. There are two kind of a license, that which is I forgot the name actually. There are two type of kind. You should have a license for that. So once you have the license, then only you can be able to interact with the server. So a Tableau desktop definitely should have a license actually. Okay. So these are all the overall architecture and the component of Tableau actually. So we need to know what happened in the background. Okay. Give me a second. Oh, is it clear or something? Give me a second. Okay. This is the Tableau server, and this is a desktop where the user interact with the Tableau server, and the user can render or able to access via iPad, mobile, Android, whatever. This is a PC as a personal computer. That's how we are interact with this Tableau. Okay. Just hold on for a minute. I'm trying for the better one. Okay. So there are two things in place. This is regarding to the Tableau administrator part. Okay. These are all the things that we need to know about it. Okay. So far we are dealing with a single node actually. So what if there is any failure, maybe you are due to some there is always an expected failure would be there actually. So if anything happen, get failed, what happened, our business will be impacted actually. So in that scenarios, Tableau will support go with one primary node and two worker node actually. If there is any failure happen, the worker node will whatever the failure happen, it will automatically taken care, and the worker node will take the take and do the normal work. It will take care all this thing, whatever thing actually. Here we need to know about this the primary node. If you see the primary node, you can see active data engine is there, and in the worker node you can see active repository is there actually. And one thing, what happened, if you see the active, there is a standby repository is there actually, and active repository is there actually. In worker 1, you can see active repository. In worker 3, you can see standby repository actually. Okay, what if there is a failure happen? What happen is, if the worker node 1 is failure happen is, the standby repository will make it an active repository, and during the meantime it will automatically try to find out what is the issue behind that to get the worker node get it to run. So until then, this worker 3, the standby came into active data engine actually. What I can say is, one should be active data engine, other should be passive data engine actually. So that's how. And one more thing is, there are 12 processes there actually. For every node there are 12 processes actually. For vSQL, they will allocate 2 processes. For background server, they will allocate 2 processes. Like that, they will do up of 12 processes, they will do 2, and for data engine alone, they will do only 1 process. So what you can do is, depend on the sizing of your architecture. You need to know about, you need to size your architecture. The first thing is, you need to know about the number of user who is frequently accessing your environment. There may be concurrent users actually. There are few users, we are only accessing the user by scheduling report. They will only a kind of they are doing a subscription. So those are all things you need to take in care. And in some other thing, the user who is coming into the environment, they using very abundantly. They are deal with the thing. You need to size your architecture, and you need to decide when you go with how many nodes. And not the recommended thing is, you need to go 1 primary and 2 worker node. That is the recommended. Depends on the volume and the resource availability. You need to go up to 5 to 6 or whatever. That's your thing actually. And so far, I went. I saw there was a UBS. They are doing about six to seven worker node, and they are handling about 10,000 plus members actually, active members. They are handling, and they are doing a lot of these things. These are all in case of on premises. I am saying about. If you are dealing with cloud, there is no need to worry about this because this high availability taken care by them actually. So that's how we need to know about what is higher because there is always expected 99%. There should not be any downtime. So in that case, they will go with the primary node, one primary node with two worker node. So why we are going with one primary two worker node means if you are dealing with only one standalone node, what happens is if you get failed, it will take you at least 4 to 8 hours to again you get back your system online to make them alive and to smooth your business. Okay, so these are kind of architecture so far we discuss actually, and going. Just hold on 2 minutes. So far, there are different type of chart that we do have a Tableau. Give me a second. Just hold on for a few moments. Actually. Let me go along. Just log in with my account Tableau Public. Yeah. Okay, let me create a. It won't take that much time. Create an account. Any of your mail ID.
Yes, we
Just can you type in? Just create a. Type. Just hold on a moment. I'm just logging into Tableau public. So this is the Tableau public is meant for everyone, and those are all who want to create a dashboard and they can able to publish. This is again a cloud where user can share their dashboard, and so that everyone get an access into that. And it's a free for everyone, and they allow some kind of a GB store. It's a free for you, and you can just create an ID account with a Tableau public, and you can publish your dashboard into the public actually. For that, what you need is you need to install a Tableau public in your desktop. That's a kind of way, and yeah, got it. Great. That's it. Since yeah, give me a second. And this is my public account actually. The same thing you can create your thing actually. What? Yeah, yeah. So this is a kind of dashboard report. Just so this is a pie chart. This is a donut chart. Let me go on by one. Just hold on for a second. Try to open this. It take a couple of minutes. Just hold on. I'm just accessing. So this is a sample dashboard in Tableau. So wherein you can able to see sales and profit of a superstore, which is a default kind of a data set which is provided by the Tableau itself actually. So here what we are doing, this is a kind of a map where we are showing their sales actually. If you see, this is a tooltip, and here what we are seeing is the department wise and what the state and what how they are doing the profit and sales actually. So with having this a kind of a, what I can say, kind of a map, we can able to locate. We can easily identify where the sales they are doing, And other thing is how much of kind of profit they got actually. So if you see this, the profit which goes very less, the size you can see it's a very less size. Although they have done a sales of 232, and you can see the profit is negative, which shown as 140, which is shown as a bracket actually. This is minus value. Okay, and if you're seeing here, they're doing a better actually. So this pie chart will tell you that again there is a categorization. This is technology, this is furniture, and this is a kind of office appliances actually. So it's a it's a part of the whole thing actually, and they are doing in terms of a chart actually, and also size plays a major role here actually. So they are differentiating by department with the color, and they are differentiating by size actually. So and whatever thing, this is a kind of chart actually, and if you see this is a kind of a filter. If you want to filter it, you can able to filter, depends on the filter, you can able to see the data corresponding to the customer who has ordered across the order ID and all the details, and how they are doing across the department and like that actually. So, and one more thing here we need to think is, if you see this one which is a map, other which is a kind of a, this is a normal table actually, and other which is kind of a table, and these are everything is single view actually. This is one view, and one view means one workbook, one workbook. This is one worksheet actually. This is one worksheet actually. So the collections of worksheets are called work group actually. Okay. And this is one a typical chart. This is very easy for to
Hi.
understand the dashboard. So
Hello.
here, what we
This
did
is
is,
dashboard is not visible yet.
pardon? Hello.
The screen sharing is not visible at all. The Excel sheet is visible over here.
Okay, give a second.
Oh, can you explain where is TW?
Screen share.
Where is
I'm
TW?
not showing
Hold
the
on,
link
hold on a
now.
second. Hold on a second. Screen sharing here.
Is it screen is visible? I guess. 1 second.
Screen is visible, but you are showing only the Excel sheet. That's it.
Excel sheet.
From starting onwards.
Oh, okay. 1 second. One second. Let me just check it out. Yeah. Now you are able to see the notepad, right?
I'm able to see only this Excel sheet, okay? From starting onwards, only this Excel. I don't know how about others. I've been posting, a message since half an hour.
No, like I could see that I could get it. I could see that no, for all, no, it's working fine. Like everyone is able to see their the screen, the notepad which I'm typing. I think there is an internet issue from your end.
But I'm able to see the.
No, like
You are listening to what I'm telling. You are listening now what I'm telling.
yes, we are able
Then,
to listen
then,
what you are telling.
what is
No,
then
you
what? How about the screen sharing?
what we will do is, I guess there is an issue from your end, and we will share the recording for you. In that recording you can see that, but as of now there is an issue because I could see that lots of other people chatting that there is no issues from their end, so we shall proceed with the thing now.
Okay, fine. Yeah. No
Okay.
problem.
We are able to see there are no problems.
Can you please explain about this chart?
Yeah. I'm just yeah. Yep.
People can go on mute.
Just people who are on online, they can just go mute. We are hearing some noise. Maybe that might disturb others. Okay. Just put on. Okay. This is a chart. What we did is we are taking the chart with area actually. Area chart actually. This, if you see here, this is an area chart actually. So what we did is we just want to highlight the minimum, that is minimum sales and the maximum sales actually. And here this area chart that we are showing sales as a matrix, okay, across product category, and what are the across year with a quarter wise. And here you can see the bar we are showing that is a profit. So, and here you can see the profit which is go minus 564. That's why you are seeing the line which is seems like the 10 down to somewhat negative actually. Okay. The same chart what we did is we are showing on the right hand side with the line actually. So we can show a chart in a different way. However you want to show your chart, that you need to select the appropriate chart actually, so that it create a overall and very informative to the end user. So by seeing the dashboard, they have to understand easily. For example, if you see here, there is 249. This is a kind of a sales, and this is a profit there it is showing there. And for the thing actually here in the dashboard, what here is it's showing as a overlap. Okay, what we did is we need to do a kind of some you need to make your color in a transparent. We have the feature in Tableau. We can make one as a transparent, just making your color little bit transparent, so that there won't be any one image or one bar should overlap with each other. At the same time, we are showing that there is some kind of overlap and without disturbing the dashboard. So when you are dealing with dashboard, you should very care about the colors that you are choosing actually. Normally it's recommended not to choose primary colors. Go for a color which is as much as very lighter, and whatever the color that you're using, that should be throughout your dashboard. It should not be specific to your particular work group. It should be specific. It should be uniqueness across all your dashboard. Okay, that is one thing. And the other thing is, when you are dealing with any dashboard, whatever the access here, whatever the access, whatever the information, that should be very clear. It should not be anything. It should be maintained same, and the color should be maintained same, and there should not be any very dark or something else. And the layout. For example, if you are doing a worksheet, the same here I am showing a two worksheet actually here in the dashboard. See, these are all the same report. I am showing in a different visualization. One a kind of a bar. These two are bar. Okay, and here you can see the height of the bar. Here I maintain this height of the bar with width, so I can reduce like that actually. We can show it in any way. The thing you need to remember is, though the two reports, the two workbook are identical, the Tableau will always think that if you make this work one of the work group as a in a length or breadth which is higher, than the other. To us, we think that both are one and the same work group. If I make this work group as larger than this, Tableau server will think that 2 reports. So what if Tableau server considers 2 reports, it will consume your memory, that will make impact your performance, that will make unnecessary memory load to the server. Okay, there should be, it's recommended to have 4 or 5 worksheet in a dashboard. And one more thing, this is the common mistake we used to do when developing a dashboard. As I said, when you're going with a traditional BI, modern BI, okay, in traditional BI, what we are doing is we'll pull out all these columns, whether it's necessary or not, and we are showing in the report. That is our main aim. Maybe it may be used. Maybe in future it may be used. We'll pull everything actually. But a dashboard, when creating a dashboard, it should be a kind of whatever needed, whatever it gives value to your business, that alone will be taken care, that alone will be shown in your dashboard. And designing a dashboard and designing a report in traditional are entirely different actually. When you are designing a report in traditional any reports, so what you need to do, you need to know about the business purpose of the report and who are the audience and what are the business filters, what are the conditions, and what are the business logic, and what is the markup. Oh, you need to get some kind of a markup, and you need to get all the SQL operations and all the sorting and everything. You need to get everything in a clear, and you are going with a high level to low level. That is a kind of a process. This is a kind of a thing that you are working with traditional BA. When you are going with visualization, you forget everything against actually. Here you are the leader. You are the leader. You should rule the dashboard. In terms mean the business user, you need to think about yourself. Whatever the questions raised by the user or whatever the questions the user might see in the dashboard, you think in a forward, in a proactive way. Think about that. What are the questions that I have to answer with the dashboard, they will have. So here, with the visualization, you are the leader. No need to wait for anything. Only thing is, it's go in a kind of a iterative way. It's not the first, in a single shot, you can't able to develop a dashboard like what you are supposed to develop in a report. When you are developing a report, you will get everything, all the information, then only you can develop the report. But in case of a dashboard, it's go in an iterative way. You need to do something dashboard, do some visualization, and you need to get clarified with your business. And if they have come up with any new questions, then you need to incorporate in your dashboard. And the same thing, your dashboard should go from summary to detail. That summary to detail should be in a kind of a way that should answer your query, your business query. So the questions need to be answered. The data which will give a insight, from the insight, it will make the business decision. So that's how. And one more thing, creating a dashboard is not an easy as you create a report in normal table format actually. For table format, any person can create a report in table format. No need of thing if they well know about SQL knowledge and everything. But dashboard, you have a kind of a photographer. You should have a photographer. You think yourself as a photographer. Why I'm saying this? You're making a small mistake with a simple color, making this dark. That will impact your full dashboard. Even a simple dot that will make your dashboard a kind of a very ugly. So, those is a 20% of work. Everyone would say that dashboard is nothing but a 20% work. Okay, that's fine. But 20% of work that will give you a business because whatever the data the user is seeing, they don't worry about it. They don't care about it. They only care about the dashboard that you are showing with the appropriate metrics actually. And here, one other thing we need to know about. So far, I discussed a dimension measure. Okay, there is one more thing which is called KPI. We need to know what is KPI. KPI is nothing but key performance indicator. Actually, there are two things. Actually, a measure can be a KPI. A measure may not be KPI actually, but a KPI should users measure actually. Depends on the business whether we can go with a KPI which we needed in the dashboard or not. So it's not a developer can create a KPI, but the developer can create a KPI based on his experience, but the KPI has to come with an approval from a business or the top level actually. Depends on the project actually. So when you're doing with KPI, normally in every project, this is the issue actually. The managers or whosoever directly come and hey, have you done any KPIs? But that should not be the case. That it has come to the topmost level actually, what they need. And in Tableau, there was a KPI. In Tableau, there are a lot of changes which is happening. What happened if you have a chart which having the sales greater than 1 lakh? So what happened in Tableau is it will automatically send you a notification. Hey, the sales is greater than 1 lakh. Okay. It will route a mail automatically, trigger a mail to the user, to the appropriate business. So that they will think that, okay, we will get a business more than 1 lakh. What we can do? We can go do some promotion to increase the sales. And the same time, it will give you alert to the business owner. So these are all things which has happened with the Tableau actually. Okay. And you should be very careful for selecting a chart. And when
Venkat, can you just go on mute because it's getting distracted for other users? Yeah. Venkat, are you there? You have gone on the mute, right? Okay.
We need to know about what are the different kind of chart actually. The first thing is here we need to know about what kind of a data we have. If you go with number, it's a kind of discrete and continuous. So discrete does nothing but it's the finite one, and continuous are nothing but it goes within a range actually. For example, if you have a those when you're developing a report, the discrete, the numeric value or the dimension or the column, okay, that will shown as a blue color, and the continuous data will shown as the green color. What we call it is it's a green pill or a blue pill. They call it as actually, okay. And one more thing, when you are developing a dashboard, what you need to know is you need to start with a kind of summary to detail, and it's not directly you are linking your report from summary to detail. Based on the selections on the summary report, that query need to pass your detailed report. For summary, you can make it as one worksheet, and detail you can make it as other worksheet. And what you can do is, based on the selection, the data is passed to the summary. There are kind of filters actually. There are kind of different kind of filters we have in Tableau. The first filter, which is called extract filter, and second is database filter, and the third, which is called context filter, and the fourth, which is called dimension filter, and the fifth, which is called measure filter, and the sixth, which is called table level calculation filter. And why I am insisting this filter is you need to know about the hierarchy between the filters, how it is actually doing. There are two things we need to think about between extract filter and database filter actually. data source, sorry, data source filter. So what if your the difference between the data extract filter and data source filter is that if there is a 10 rows in your record, in your table, so what you are doing is when you are using data extract filter, you can define the filter there itself. For example, I need 4 rows. By making use of data extract filter, the report will fetch you only 4 rows into the report actually. If you go with data source filter, what happen is it will fetch 10 rows. On top of that, it will fetch 4 rows only that will show in the report. Okay. The thing is that the volume of record is the difference between this data extract filter and data source filter actually. Okay. And we need to, and when you are extracting data, the advantage is that when you are using this data extract, so you can able to extract a subset of data. Either you can you want to alone extract year wise or quarter wise or month wise. That will allow to make your selection on what basis you can select your subdata. The next followed by the context filter actually. So the context filter is nothing but it's a kind of filter that is it will precede all other filter actually. For example, if you have a if you want to show a top 10 customer across region, so you will set a filter actually. That filter, what happened, it will show top 10 of your customer. If I go with the state wise, what happened is it will go only 2 or 3 only, because based on this filter, out of 10 customer, there will be 3 customers from a particular state, 7 from another state. So what the expectation is, we don't get the 10 customer per state. So the reason is that you are applying a filter on top of that state. On after that, we are expecting top 10. So if you're doing a context filter on top of above, what happen is it will create a temporary table with all this thing. After then, if you put a filter below a state filter, so per state you will get 10 customer. Okay, this is the concept we need to know. What are the kinds of filter we have? Dimension filters, we know that the interest, what are the values we can able to filter it, and the measure filter also the same thing. So far we know about the filter. There are some other way the user can interact with the data, that is called a parameter. So with a parameter, what I can do is the user can able to select a value, and the same thing the user can able to pass a value between a worksheet using the parameter. And with the parameter you can define the condition also. There are a lot of things in there actually. And here we do have a normal thing. We do have sets also here actually. We do have sets and we do have groups also. Set is nothing but it serves for the purpose of creating based on your measure actually. If you want to create some set, and the advantage of set is that you can make use of the set in across all the worksheet actually. Here I don't have a tool, that is the reason I'm just explaining the concept actually. Maybe this is useful if you wanted to. And sets are very useful. You can if you, for example, if you want to create a set or if you want to create a condition, for example, sales greater than 10,000, that is a condition. So that condition, what you can do, you can create a filter, and just you can create a filter and implement in the worksheet. That is specific only to the worksheet. The same filter, if you create it using set, the filter will be applicable for every worksheet. So that is the advantage. And also, it will store in the metadata. If you create a set, that will store in the metadata. Whereas in the filter are specific only to the worksheet. The sets are specific for all the things. Again, the group. So group is nothing but a category. You want to create some group. For example, if there is a list of countries you want to create. In India, we have 26 states. You want to make a group, east, west, north, south. You can just create a group on that. So that way you can make your report by logically, by categorically you can do that actually. And here we need to know about when you are drilling from summary to detail, you need to care about that because that plays a very important. Instead of showing all the report in a detail one, you can go with one summary and detail so that the performance get little bit improvised than showing everything detail in a single report. These are all the considerations that we need to take care when designing dashboard actually. Okay, let me go a few other dashboard that will be good. Just hold on for a second. Just hold on for a second. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Sir, நீங்க சார் அப்புறம் பேசுங்க சார் வேலையா இருக்கேன். Bye. See, as I said, this is the this is a kind of a parameter actually. You can see depends on the selection of month. This is the profit and this is a control. This is a parameter, and this is based on this parameter selection of this parameter. The data which is shown here as a line chart over here actually. When you are creating a parameter, you need to think about two things in mind. First, you need to create a calculated object. Then once you create a calculated object, then you need to map with this filter actually, parameter. So based on this, once you synchronize, make a connection with this calculated field and the parameter, then you can able to see, you can able to control your chart. Just give me a second. This is one kind of thing that I have done this. See, this is a kind of a chart you can able to see. This is a reference line I just put in. Here you can see the height and the width. So what I did is in the chart, what I did is actually did the height as a sale and profit I show it as this thing. This is the profit. Okay, and also what I did is you can see 167 and 330k. This is the sales actually. The two things I have achieved in the dashboard. One which is called the height, and the other which is width. The width is based on the numbers actually. 167. See, you can see 167. The width is little bit thinner than this 33k. So this is how also we can show given and somewhat attraction to the user. And what I did is I want to sort the profit actually here. You can see this sort minus 18k. And also I put what is the maximum salary. I put a reference line here actually. And also I put what is the maximum profit here actually. So this is one kind of a chart. I done with the height of the chart as well as width of the chart as well as the profit I shown here, and I make it as a transparent. So that I don't want any of the numbers should not be hidden from other chart actually. And I just make just a kind of tooltip or just a kind of a tag actually, just for understanding. We can make a what is a subcategory for an understanding actually. So this kind of a chart we can able to do that actually. This is one of the typical chart with make use of bar chart with variable with a kind of height and width actually. And this is like sorting done based on the profit actually. And one more thing. This is a kind of a divergence chart. What we used to have kind of a again what I did is I taken a matrix on the right hand side on the left hand side. What I did is you can see sales and shipping cost actually. So what I did is again I am doing here the same actually. The profit you can see the width and the height actually. You see the width. You can see the width 1774 the sales and same thing. I am showing the shipping cost also. This is the height of the shipping cost. At the same time, I'm showing this the days also. So how much it takes the width. You can see the width as a time to ship and the height as a cost actually shipping cost. So I'm showing four matrices actually with the divergence, left hand, right hand side. So normally this type of divergence are where they were used to do show is they show it as a male to female actually, the population in a country male to female. So if you are showing this report in a normal Tableau format, that won't make you sense actually. You need to go each and everything. We can't able to remember it. But we are showing, if you show this chart in a visualization as a chart, it is very easy to understand. Here, the thing is that I can see the height, and I can see height as a sales and width as a profit. This is the two metrics I am showing here actually. That's what I mentioned here actually. On the left hand side, you can see sales as height and profit as a width. And here, and the shipping cost as a height, and I'm taking the time taken for shipping the particular the subcategory, the particular furnitures of the particular subcategory, the chas, how much time it takes to ship. So this will give you a pretty good idea about that. I'm showing the four metrics actually. This is one of a typical chart that I have done actually. So it is easy to understand for the four matrices via divergence chart. Let me show. And this is a tree chart actually. So we know that tree chart, what will show it, it will show all your values actually, all your value in for example, the length of the bar, you can see the table. It will show all of your values actually in a bar actually. It will show the size of your composition. This is the whole area of furniture. How much of it constitutes the value, the overall value. Here what I did is, this is a normal one actually. What I did is I done with the help of a cluster actually. You can see the color, you can see the blue color. This is a cluster value. That's why you can see it is spread across all the furnitures, offices and technology actually. We need to know about what is cluster actually. Normally, when you are doing any kind of activity, when you are doing a data profiling with a particular project, what you are doing is you want to know about, you need to take at least some kind of 5-year data, 2-year data, 3-year data to want to analyze how about the data. But what we supposed to do is we go with a histogram and to try to find where the maximum number of sales is occurred and where it is how much not nulls. Those are all things we used to do that. That thing we can control it with the kind of 5 years, 4 years, 2 years like that actually. What if you can't able to control it? That should be handled by themselves, tool itself. The cluster will help you that. It will cluster based on some, by default, it will make you cluster about your values and put it in a separate bucket actually. So that it is easy for you to understand the group of data. It is done by the Tableau cluster itself. So this is because This comes under unsupervised model actually. Anything you want to control that comes under supervised model. Anything which you can't able to control which comes under unsupervised model. We have three models in machine language. So the clusters will benefit you where your data is split across actually. What I did is, we know that tree chart will show everything, and I want to do kind of a cluster. I just show the cluster in the tree chart over here. I'll show the chart what is a cluster, so that will be easy. Let it be. And this is a typical example of a parameter that I used actually. And see, you can see here, right? One which is called profit goal, and other which is called I have two things: made profit goal and not made profit goal. So what I did is I show a product. Actually, I want to know the sales. If I'm selecting 23,000 actually, okay, I can see here the values which is greater than 23. These are all met the profit goal. And here also I can mention a reference line which is showing which is less than 23. So these are all I am controlling via parameter actually. And what I did it is just with the help of a parameter I am showing two kind, one with met goal and other with not met. This kind of activity also we can do it. And also other thing I have done that with the use of color. You can see the color lighter to stronger because of the value. If you go see 27K and 58K, so you can see the colors also. The colors also make you attention. Where your colors is lighter, there should be very less value, and where your colors is darker, where you get more, the numbers huge actually. That's also give you an attention when you're using with the charts. Okay. Yeah, please.
Very right?
Yeah.
Profit goal.
Yeah.
Make it higher.
Yeah.
This will appear here.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So
Let me show that. Give us. I can make it higher. See.
24K.
That's it. So that's why this purpose is very easy for us actually. Instead of showing on a Tableau, instead of showing in a normal day, this is very easy for the end user to can select, and easily they can able to see what are the product that have met the goal, not met. So it's a kind of a chart. So and also I am doing a reference line. Whatever the 24, this is a 37, right? If I make a selecting 24, that will show this reference line across 24. So that's the purpose of this report. And so far I discussed about this cluster, right? The again thing, there are something you have some of you are doing some sales across department, and we need to know what is the minimum sales and what is the maximum and what is the median. So and what is the first quartile and what is the third quartile, how they are doing business. The box part will you give an answer. So I did a kind of a chart here actually. This will show for the month of January how this business is doing actually. There are something with there is one more thing which is we need to know about this box part actually. The outlier, that is very important actually. In some cases, the outlier make to think the business to take a decision actually. The outliers are nothing but, you can see this bar. If it is 1.5x above 1.5x above your box, that will be the outlier. If it is less than 1.5, that is considered as an outlier, but that is not actually an outlier actually. Okay, and these are all very controlled actually. We can see the values what here we are showing. These are all very controlled actually, and these are all the data we can able to see this. and this is the upper actually. The sales with the upper, and here it's showing the telephone communication, which is the one, and which is the which is the, you can see this is the topmost outlier actually. For the month of Jan, the office machine, which is the outlier, which is doing exponentially 292k sales for that month actually. So it will give you an attention. The business user will see that why this goes outlier. And if you see this is very less 1k, very less value 23k, which is less than the first quarter. They can see that also. So that's how the report will make a good understanding how the data which is actually shown in the report actually. So it is easy, pretty good, easy for them to understand the pattern actually. And the next thing is the scatter plot actually. You need to think about when you are supposed to use a scatter plot. When you are dealing with two variables, you need to use scatter plot. Here, what we did is we have taken the number of student and the score, which is scored by the student, and we are showing as a scatter plot, and we are showing a reference line for the average score. So, and here also you can see the kind of a cluster actually. See, this is a kind of a cluster actually. All this college arts and science students, they are performing well. The number of students is very high for the colleges of arts and science. Okay, and you can see this yellow color. They are doing colleges business actually. That's how we can show the different categorical data and to do a better comparison to know about it, how they are doing. Here in the chart, or the number of total score, who is scored more, the SAT score, and how they are reaching. And it's pretty good, easy for us to get an understanding about this chart actually by using this scatter plot actually. And this is other chart that instead of you're seeing upwards, we can see the downwards because the length it's very easy. See, this is the budget and product type coffee, and this is the margin. So it's a kind. I just inverted it. Inverted it to show in a different. This is a bar chart actually. I make it as a line actually, and this is a kind of a dot. So these are two things. I just merge it to get a better understanding. So we can play like anything else. Instead of going with my best recommendation is that don't go for recommended chart actually. Don't select it. If you select any columns or rows, don't. It always recommend to select this region. But you need to know what chart it is useful for. You need to understand the basic idea. Which chart will give you a better understanding, better results, or better insight to your data. You should have aware about that. It's not blankly following the recommended, although is there, it is futures is available for us actually. You should aware about it. When you are dealing with categorical data, go with bar chart. When you are dealing with kind of a two variable, height of a person and the weight of a person, go with scatter plot. When you are dealing with a kind of pattern, go with the time chart, go with line chart. When you are dealing with a kind of what I can say, there are 3 to 4 categories. You want to see the result, go with area chart. It's not recommended you go with area chart for more than 3 to 4 categories. It's recommended if you have very less, go with area chart with 3 or 4 data. If you have more, go with bar chart. Just a second, hold on. So if you have more number of categorical data, go with bar chart. Again, if you have more number of bar chart, go with always go with the rank, top 10, top 50. Always show instead of horizontal, go show it as a vertical wise. That is easy to view the report actually. For example, here I'm showing here another report that will give you a better understanding. See, always show a bar like this actually instead of horizontal. Show your bar chart as a vertical. That is very easy, and you can sort this your thing also. Instead of showing it horizontal, show it as a vertical. And if you have a more number of 10 to 15 or 25, 30 bars, go with always top 5 or top 10 like that actually. And even if you want to go with if you have more number of bars, go with a line chart. Just a line chart or something else. These are all the recommended thing you need to thing actually when you are dealing with that. And you have a lot of things. For example, this is a bump chart actually. This is a chart which is not by default in Tableau. We can make use of this bump chart actually. The purpose of the bump chart is, for example, if we do have a competitor for Ford and Tata, they are manufacturing a car actually. So we need to know about how they are performing, the number of cars sold in India. So maybe this year Tata is the first, and next year another competitor will be first. We need to know see some pattern, right? So at that time, this bump chart will help us. How much percentage they can't get. See, you can see the downfall. This is the first person. On the segment wise, you can see this. This is segment consumer. Till August, the consumer is the top ranking. Then what happened after this October? The consumer second will be ranked in the second, and this segment corporate rank first for the month of October. In this way, also we can show to the user. It is very easy for anybody, and also we are showing the percentage across this thing actually. How much percentage they are contribute. If you add this, it will be 100% for the month. 38, 34, 28. It should be 100 for the month. So that's how your data should talk to the user. It should be very clear. The numbers should be very clear, and the color should be very clear, and the access should be very clear. And as far as everyone we know, this is again a control chart. We can able to do that also. This is a kind of control chart. That is lower control chart, upper limit. We can able to do that, and we can show that this is a kind of a thing actually. We can able to see what are the in control and out control. This is a KPI actually. See, the transactions made in the bank is via check, EFT, wire, and the KPIs we need to check whether it is in control or out control. So for this is a kind of you can see out of control. You can see the transaction type is EFT, and also here I done one more thing. Here is the shapes also. Not only color, I shown as a shape also. Circle for check EFT. You can see on top of that we can see the shape also. So these are all the small things that we can incorporate in the dashboard. So you can see this is a star. This is a symbol of star. The symbol of star is wire. Green. This is a red because you can see red out of control and green in control. You can see this is in control, out control. So these are all small things. This will provide you more insight, more the way that you can take advantages in developing a dashboard. So you need to think in a, even though this is a small chart, I don't need to do some color like this actually. No need of this color or shape. But this will create you some terms of useful, convey better information to the users and easy for us actually. This green and this, this red and green. These are the KPIs. This is the KPI, key performance. So when I'm getting this red, the business owner will foresee into why it was out of control. So that's how the control chart is very helpful for the business user as well as with the business actually. can show like this, like a building block actually. This also we can able to achieve. In this way also we can show the bar chart. This is a bar chart actually. We showed a shadow, the edges. In this way also we can able to show the report. These are all we have to do some workaround. It's not a direct way. We can able to do the report actually. This is the area chart. As I said, right, if you have a 3 category, right, go with the area chart. That will give a better understanding. And see, this is the kind of area chart, and here you can see the values. So there are a lot of things in single line chart. You can do multiple combinations. That depends your wish actually, how you want to just communicate your information to the end user. And this is a typical kind of. See, I'm showing here is you can see the number of records actually. This is a darker color, 536, which is the darker, which is the I'm showing as a bin also. How I am splitted this bin is I need to create a bin based on a measure actually. So here I'm creating a bucket. Bin or nothing but it's a bucket actually. In this chart, what I am showing is 1010 values actually. So with the 50K, I have total number of records is 508 actually. The number of in the bin 50K, and the same thing, the number of total number of records should be this number of percentage. I am showing this, and here also I am showing this some values actually, some kind of a matrix who is available or who is excited from this. These are all things we can able to show in the dashboard actually. This is the kind of estimated bill salary to find out the employees who is in the bucket in the range 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So at the time histogram will play you the better. So you need to think about it, whether you are dealing with a measure, whether you are dealing with category, or whether you are dealing with trend, or whether you want to see your data in a geographical way. That you need to think that, and you need to think how to you are navigating from one place to other place. That's all thing. This is a kind of a histogram, and also you can limit the size also. This again color, you can see this is the lighter will be the lesser, and the darker will be the higher. Let me one more thing. This is a kind of a line chart with a pie chart actually. So you can see this is a trend chart. What I am showing is on top of that each thing I am showing the as a pie chart actually. In this way also we can show the chart actually. So everything you have to decide how to show your dashboard, that you need to decide. So these are all your freedom actually. As I said, right, your dashboard developer, you need to think about what chart you need to, because the business don't have any idea about. They want all the metrics, they want all the information in a easy to understand, because the choice is yours. You can select go with bar, go with line, or go with a tree, or go with a pie, or you can go with map, or you can go with cluster, or you can go with reference line, or you can go with box. So you need to know, and if you want to compare the sales this year and last year, you can go with a kind of chart. There is a chart is there. You can go with. You can able to compare that chart. I can show that chart also. And you can show the trend chart, and there are a lot of the chart is there. Give me a second. And this is one a typical chart. This is called stacked bar chart. Normally in bar chart, we don't see the 100%. You can see 100%. Because we want to make each and every chart has 100%, and on top of 100%, we need to thing, the proportion 65 plus 28 plus something, it will go for 100% actually. So this is a kind of a stacked bar chart actually. In this way also you can able to see this group. It's a kind of a group chart actually. You can show across the year like this actually. This is the kind of area. As I said, right, I have only three browser, Firefox and other. I can show like this. This is a line chart actually. How they are doing performing from 2009 to 2015 actually, IE. And Chrome is doing better from 2009 to 2015. So this is the way we can able to see the market share between the browser across the time dimension, starting from the year 2000 to 2015, how they are performing, how they are competing with each other. So this way you have to think about it. When you are doing chart, you need to think about it, in which way you are going to present it. And this is the other way. This is the other way, demand and supply. In this way also we can able to show that. And also you can, if you're working with a project, you can grant a chart also, you can able to show that. So how much of time it is taken, and 20% of time taken for 80% of time you take your 80-20 rule. So everything that you can able to grant chart also. That is also available here actually in chart, this thing actually. And the one more thing I would say is, if you are taking any data in Tableau, it always get aggregated. By default, the value get aggregated actually. Okay, and the one more thing I would like to share here is, as I said that Tableau, which is connected to multiple data source, right? We need to have a common thing. One, you are joining with a Excel sheet, for example, 1 or 2 or 3 sheet. That is the same type of Excel sheet. You're just making use of a join, and you can connect it and get the report. The other way is, it's a kind of heterogeneous data. One will be a flat file, other will be a database. You can make a connection and create a connection, and you can build a report. The other way is, you are dealing with different database. One way from Oracle, other from MySQL. You want to create a report, that also able to you can able to do that. The thing is that you have to. There are 3 kinds actually. One which is called you're connecting with the same file. The other which is called the blending. The other which is called cross database join. Cross join actually. We do have 3 type of thing actually. Blending are nothing but you are connecting with the database with the text file or whatever. And cross join are nothing but you are connecting with a different DB. So you need to know about it. The advantage of blending is nothing but it is easy for you, and you can integrate multiple worksheet and database to create a dashboard report. The first thing what happen is the aggregation happen after combining the data when you are doing blending. When you are doing cross join, the aggregation happen before combining the data. So what happened, where the performance is much faster is blending takes the advantage over cross join. And one more thing, you need to think about it. When you should to go blending, when you should to go cross join. If you are dealing with the same hierarchy, you need to go with blending. Sorry, just a second. Okay. When you are going with a different hierarchy, you need to go with blending. When you are dealing with the same hierarchy, you need to go with cross join. So if it is a different hierarchy in DB, what you can do is you can make it the same hierarchy and then do a cross join. This is a simple difference. And when you are connecting with OLAP, it should be always the primary should be a OLAP. You can't connect 2 OLAP. 2 OLAP means you can connect only 1 OLAP, not 2 OLAP. That OLAP will be your primary data source, not should be secondary data source. It's always a recommended one that is followed in the recommended way, that is followed in the practice. So this thing you need to think about it. When you should go blending, when you should go this uh, cross channel. This is very important when you are dealing with dashboard. And one more thing, the difference between blending and cross join is nothing but the cross join that you are doing at the for doing this thing. You need to create a data connection in the cross join actually. First, you need to create a data connection, and then you connect. You can integrate these different data sources. For blending, no need to create a data connection. You just point to the data source, and then you can integrate and create a report. So this is a very minute difference between blending and cross check. So without knowing this, uh, it's not the thing that doing a greater dashboard. If your data is useless, your dashboard won't speak. Whatever you are doing a dashboard with a graphical in a Unity in a advanced level, your data should speak because you need to care. Because visualization is not all about only showing the report; it's all about the data. That is the background. Without data, we can't do anything else. So you need to take care when you should go for blending, when you should go for data cross channel. So this thing you need to know. And for connecting to data source, we have multiple tools in the market. Whatever tool we have, we can able to connect it. And one more thing is for Tableau, the one little bit what I can say, they are improvising on this ETL part actually. So they don't have an ETL. So something they have, we can do some kind of data cleansing work for Excel that is available there. For doing some kind of ETL thing, it is not supported that much as like with a click actually. With click, you can do ETL stuff. You can do what are the ETL operation you can do able to do with the click actually. Not the same functionality with this thing. For Tableau, you can go with any ETL tool. Alteryx is just one of the tool they are using actually. That is a data preparation tool. We can make use of that. But they are slowly improvising on this ETL part also. Maybe successive thing we can able to see. Apart from this click and Tableau, both are one and the same. They have come with a two flavor with the click, guided and self-service. And this is Tableau is for self-service actually. So where the developer plays a major role in guided and business user. Hello. Yeah. So these are the latest pros and cons with the Tableau. Apart from this, Tableau is pretty good, a very nice tool. And one more thing is, it has the community. You can find the community. It's a very helpful forum. You can find a lot of things. And once you created this Tableau public, you can just go and browse it. You can just the same thing. You can just search it. If you can search any bar chart. For example, I can say cluster. Just I can search it. I can just search it. I can find a lot of visualization over here. I can just drag. See, this is a cluster. Let me open. Give a second. So this is free actually.
Yeah, excuse me. Can I ask you something?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, can you show me some websites or something where I have explanation of the graphs of how exactly the data is related?
Okay, I do have some. I done that exercise. What I can do is let me send out the screenshot. Okay, and after this session, okay, that will tell you the answer your query.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Actually, that screenshot will tell you that will cover all this chart with even you can use these default one superstore, okay, superstore data set, which is provided by Tableau, and all those example that is created based on the supersource data source, and that screenshot will have start to end, what object you have to select, what object where you have to place, how you can generate the dashboard. That will have the explanation too, in an easy way. That will cover all your queries. Already we did that, but somehow the network is not. I'm unable to access it now. Otherwise, I would have show it right away. Let me. Still, it's processing. That is the issue actually. Okay. Any other questions? So this is a kind of cluster. Okay, give me a second. Let me. Okay. And you can see this is a kind of a cluster. What is they show in a kind of a tree chart actually. So with the darker color, the higher, and the lesser color will be the cluster. You can see the cluster. There are 4 clusters actually. Cluster 4 and cluster 3 and cluster 2, cluster 1. So as I said, this is automatically defined by taken care by the Tableau itself. Depends on the value. So depends on the value, the country which is based on this cluster. Cluster 1, 2, 3 like that. So likewise, you can able to create as much as report. I think as far as I covered most of the topic with
have any business queries I have to put in the database or I use Tableau itself, the sheet, the worksheet itself, and in the
yes, yeah,
so it's better for which condition the database which one is I do, which one is going in the worksheet.
It is always better to have at the backend level, because what happened is, as I said, right, if you do it at the front end, that's fine. Even if you want to do it at the front end, you can go with a boolean. If you want to create a boolean, it's better, the performance will be better. For example, if you want to check the age which is greater than 50, what I can do is I can create no need to go on the backend.
Some lookups, something.
In case of lookup also, if it is it depends on the data volume, how you deal with it. If it is you are dealing with much volume, normally Tableau will take care. Whatever the complex calculation, whatever it will take care, there is no issue. Where the issue is the usage, the resource utilization, that plays a major role. If it is a very less user, even you're using complex logic, that doesn't impact your system anymore, because it's taken care by the in memory. No need to worry about it. When you are supposed to worry, when you're facing some issue or some borderline in accessing or in performing the dashboard. So it's always better to have at the backend level. So don't worry, no need to worry about it.
I think the click and all the click or something, that was all I think they working at home. They are minimum trial period they are giving that.
Yeah, for click they are giving a very good. Only Tableau alone they give 14 days. What you can do is for Tableau you can install Tableau Public. That is yeah, Tableau version. That is 10.5. You can install it right away. The only thing is with the Tableau Public, there is minimum number of data connector, Excel like that only. If you install Tableau this thing desktop for 14 days trial period, you can connect to as much as data source. That is the only difference. It's better to have with Tableau Public, and you can create a dashboard and you can publish to Tableau Public. What are the account that I said? I installed Tableau Public in my system. I publish over here. That is easy for me to. I'm just for demo purpose and everything. That much of advantage, and not only that, the community is very useful for you, and especially for Tableau Public, you can access as much as dashboard, invoke, download, and you can learn very easily. Yeah, you can see here. I can download it. This is the dashboard. Okay. So all I can do is this is the download button. That's it.
The data source.
Complete data source. This is very easy to learn. That's why I was very much impressed, and I learned the way. This is the easiest way anyone can learn visualization. So my better recommendation is that don't think about this is the number one tool. My better recommendation, my suggestion is that see, always think about data. Always think about how you are going to play with the data with the chart. Just forget about the tool. That's my suggestion. Every tool has its own advantage and disadvantages. There won't be any 100% super tool in the market. Actually, it depends on how your project is run, how your project is going to. Yeah, business understanding. That's it. So my humble request is that please understand the data, relationship, pattern, categorize, and try to understand the logic behind the chart. Think about scatter plot, two variable. Think about line chart, trend. Think about proposition, pie chart. Think about composition, tree chart. Think about you want to see your sales across globe, map chart. Think about you don't have a control over numeric. You want to do something numeric value. Go for cluster. Think about you want to find a range with a number. Go with histogram. So this level of understanding you should have on the chart before selecting a chart in any tool. Once you know the concept between dimension, fact, OLTP, OLAP, and my traditional thing, modern BI, and in-memory, and columnar database. These are all things you need to definitely understand it. Without understanding it, whatever the tool that you learned, see, I would say Tableau is very easy tool. You can learn it 1 hour. But I'm challenge you, you can't develop a dashboard in 1 hour. Not only with the Tableau, with any visualization. Until unless you don't have a fundamental basic idea, it is not an easy. But we can select the data set, go with a recommended, select that, hey, I learned it. But if you are put in a project, definitely you can't do that. You should proactively think of the data. When you're seeing the Excel data, you need to think your mind, which chart I have to go, what business value I can provide on top of the metrics. Like that, you have to think about the data. You need to think the data, just breathe the data, show in a chart. That's my humble request. And one more thing, be strong in one reporting tool. With that knowledge, learn other tool. That's it. I started with the Tableau. I know in and out. With that knowledge, I am going with the Click and Power BI, whatever tool. But base is Tableau. Same, if you start with Click, go 100%, learn everything, incorporate the idea in the other tool. That's my request here actually. It's not tool will play. It's a person you have to play on the tool. It's not tool play on you. You have to play on the tool. You have to play on the concept. You have to play on the data. Because data visualization is not an easy stuff as you do create in a normal tabular report. It is something different. It is something you have to think about it before you are doing report. By seeing the data as well, you have to do some modeling. How you want to do a model. Don't go for with directly pulling the column and showing the report. Always try to give as much as value, as much as need to add value to the report. Don't go with something, think in a different way. Not only I'm saying in a different way, it should not be go in a collapse your dashboard. It should be the perception, how you are showing the data in a very useful way. Think about it. See, now the trend is going with the big data. Now the trend is going with the data analytics. I'm just giving a little bit heads about analytics. Why we are going for analytics here? Why Tableau is connecting with the Tableau big data? What is the purpose? Why? That should be answered. We are dealing with a huge amount of data, vast amount of data, vast movement, the velocity of data every day.
So how we are dealing with that? So if you're going with all the tools here, we are dealing with the only subset of data, not with the end-to-end data, that is start to end. So why we are going with data analytics? The purpose is that to identify the pattern across the time zone, start from end. So for doing the pattern, you need to understand the pattern. The pattern should be mimicked in every time. It should be same. That should be reliable. That is your hypothesis. Your hypothesis based on either it is reliable or not. So how you are making? For example, in telecommunication, the customer, retaining customer is not an easy. The churn rate, that plays a very big role for doing this thing. So far what we are doing is we are doing an exploratory dashboard. Now we are in the phase of kind of what I can say in a kind of a data analytics. That is we are moving to prescriptive model actually, predictive to prescriptive model. So for right now we are in predictive model. So far we are doing only explanatory and exploratory, not going with predictive model. But the current trend is going on predictive and prescriptive model will be the future. Predictive model are nothing but how the data you are fit into the model. You are testing the model, you are sampling the model, and you are doing that accuracy, and you need to learn from the model. So for that, it comes around the machine language, and you need to do some kind of an algorithm. There is again a supervisor, semi-supervisor like that, and top of that you are doing some data set. On top of that, you are doing this Tableau visualization part. That's where the Tableau visualization, the visualization part, want the data should be analyzed. Now that work which comes to us. Now Tableau has a features you can add R script, Python script inside a Tableau itself, so that your analytics is much faster. It's online, real data. You are dealing with real data, doing real analysis. So that's why. So don't think that Tableau is a tool. You are just drag and drop. Tableau is not that tool. Not only Tableau, any visualization tool or any tool in market now and then or in future, you should aware about data analytics. You should aware about statistics at least some point, at least. If you understand this thing, then you should be a very good a kind of a developer. Without thing, you can't able to sustain in the market. That's my perception actually. I think I hope I covered everything. If you have any questions, let me know.
In the R language, there are so many packages with the additional packages.
There are 10 lakhs packages are there actually.
In similar way, Tableau, what is the in additional something you have to like adding something, something like that? Otherwise, we have to develop.
We have to develop. We have to develop.
No more add-ins.
Add-ons are there actually. There are some limited functionalities there. Cluster like that. There are something is there.
Less than 100 MB only the software is there.
Yeah.
But all kind of data handling is enough for that.
No. Data handling you can't able to do some. If you're doing some data analytics part, that you have to do in Python or R to make it to the table data set. You need to create. Yes, that's what I said. Analytics is a tool. They are doing they have kind of a 500 transformation which is supported by Analytics. All the data thing and data injection and put into the file. That is proprietary format. Not only Analytics support this only for Tableau. It support for ClickView like 23 tools proprietary format. It is giving us output. We can make use that proprietary TW and get from there and doing our report purpose in Tableau. On top of that, you can use R script or Python script. That is, there are 5 to 6 functions are there. You can make use of that and you can do it in a very dynamic way. Yes, D3 also we can be able to do that, but D3 you can't be able to make a dynamic thing actually. Only static only you can able to do that. If you want to do a D3 best, you can go with Angular. You can make it a dynamic visualization. That is the only I think that is the only little bit a drawback in that D3 actually. Static is fine. If you are dealing with dynamic, then go with Python or R. You can do it dynamic analytics with Tableau. That is very, very good actually.
Online audience.
Hello, online audience. Do you have any questions from me?
Is there any doubts? Please feel free to give it in the chat, so we'll be able to answer. We are not see like we all are working from corporates, but there no like it will be like there will be an ego between one person and another person, and one person will not get one person no will not share the knowledge. Likewise, no things happens in corporates because we are all working for past 10, 12 years. In the corporate sector. But here, no, it's a knowledge sharing place. Feel free to ask any doubts you have. If we know, we'll be giving it right away. If we doesn't know that, but 99% of the questions can be answered. Certain things cannot be answered. If we doesn't know, no, we'll refer it and we'll get back to you. This complete pure knowledge sharing session, which has been happening and on Saturdays, alternative Saturdays, between 2 to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock will happen. So, any questions, no, let us know. Hope there is no doubts, right?
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Can you please explain me the bottom chart which says project 3_2? Yes, please.
Actually, it's a line chart. Okay, so they have some kind of categorization, kind of categorized film based on action adventure. That's it. They just show the number of records actually. It's a thriller movie. If you select this thriller movie, you can see across the years, you can see the thriller movies. It's a categorical data. They are showing in a line chart. That's it. You can see. It's a line chart. They are showing the count of films based on category by action from the year 1916 to 2015. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome.
What is the use of TD file?
Yeah, the use of TD file is you can extract a subset of data from your data source, and you can store your TD in your Tableau server, and you can make use of your TD to build your dashboard. Does that answer your question, or do you have any other question? It's a Tableau proprietary file, extract file.
That's it. That's notes. Where when we are using
Yes, we can able to embed via JavaScript. Even I have done that. Yeah, that is possible. We can embed in SharePoint, and we can embed. Yeah, wherever you want, we can embed that. For that, you can use either You can make use of JavaScript, or you can make use of AngularJS, and you can make use of OData, anything. Yes, that is simple. That is possible via HTML script. Yeah, this is the way you can see. I can show this, and this is share. Okay, see, this is the embed code, HTML code. Okay, just copy it and put it in your script that will make you to work. This is the link. That's it. Got it. Okay, parrot chart. Okay. That will cover actually in screenshot. Actually, already we have the parrot chart, and anyway, we'll share that screenshot too. Just a second, hold on. Let me explain that also. That was chat, right? This is your parrot chart. So with that, with the parrot chart, what we did is you can see the profit and the categorized of this thing, and how much profit is contributed across this item, which is categorized, and you can see 20% of your profit, and 80% of your okay, just a second, hold on. It's again, you can split it to 20 to 80 actually. That's how the Pareto will work actually. So you can see this chart will explain you everything actually, and you can see this is the running percentage actually. Start from 21% to 100% actually. This is the kind of one of the functionality we have in Tableau, which is called a table level calculation. With that, you can make use of this running total running percentage actually. So that is a feature which is available there. The only thing is you need to you need to create that. That's it. It's very easy to do it chart in Tableau. Any questions?
Hi, I want to know what are how to exactly design a dashboard with the best practices. I mean, I want to know your best opinions.
Okay, my best practice are the generalized recommended way by Tableau. Which one you want?
I mean, corporate level, or if I'm doing a dashboard for executive levels or business users. So, how do you suggest me to present it in a, to satisfy their needs and
okay, if it is by the topmost level, my best thing would always you can go with KPI, because they are interested only on KPI. They don't have interest on the detail level. And if you go by manager level, you can go with a detail level. So from summary to detail. And if you go with the exploratory way, that is the third level, you can go with all type of charts. It's again depends on the requirement actually. It's not there is a straight line this is the recommended, this is the appropriate. It's changes case to case actually.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
I guess that's it. And thank you, Shivakumar. Whatever doubts you have, no, feel free to ask in our ID, which I will ping you. Like you can, and the recordings of this session would be available in our website, that is bigdatahandson.com. You can just bigdatahandson.com. It will be available in that, and you can get in touch with Shivakumar on his LinkedIn profile as well.
Yeah.
And you can give your IDs, and you can just
This
type
is my,
that.
this is my LinkedIn ID. You can always refer it. I'm not only doing this Tableau alone. I'm just doing a little bit of exercise. I'm just covering each and everything, not only. Yeah, this is my LinkedIn ID. You can find whatever Tableau related you can find in my post. And I've written a few articles on data science, machine language using R, and data science, and kind of with a kind of uh, Scrum model, how they are using the project. So, and right now I'm just doing some little bit analysis on Click. So I started about 4 to 5 days ago. So I'm just starting. I'm just doing kind of a little bit of R&D. It's not. I'm strict with one tool. I'm just working on multiple tools. For some other my own activities. That's my homework I'm doing on that. And if you do interested, just visit my articles, and that help you a lot definitely, because I'm just covering all those my post targeted especially for the developers, or the experienced people who want to make that post as a reference, or those who want to learn Tableau. They are welcome, and that will at least I'm sure that will give definitely a good idea. I'm sure that that's my confidence. Definitely that will help out, and you can just go through this, and whatever the questions, whatever the chart, whatever the best practices, everything that I covered for with the Tableau alone, I covered about 75 posts actually. Start from file format to a kind of administration, a kind of business analytics, a kind of requirement gathering, and everything I covered actually with the 75 posts actually. I think I touch base most of the topic what I learned with my little knowledge. I hope that will be useful for you. If that is useful, I'm very happy on that. And that's it from my side. And your feedback would be always welcome. Whether did any wrong also, that's also welcome. I'm eager to know the wrong thing and the bad thing. That's the only thing I eager to know from you all guys. Thanks a lot.
And initially for first 1 hour, no, we had some issues in connecting it, and we were not able to open the LinkedIn profiles. We are very sorry for that. So that meeting got extended for half an hour more, which is supposed to be closed by 5 o'clock, but it has been crossed half an hour, 45 minutes more. We excuse for that. And next time, no, that delay, no, will not happen. We'll have the presentations ready for you to present, and there will be lots of other course sessions which should happen on subsequent Saturdays. Knowledge sharing sessions which should happen on subsequent Saturdays on NoSQL and all data science technologies like big data analytics, big data development, big data administration, machine learning, deep learning, TensorFlow, neural networks, convolution neural networks, and other topics like Spark, Splunk, TensorFlow, and natural language processing, computer vision, speech recognition. You all know you can visit our website bigdatahandson.com and you can see that uploads, YouTube uploads. You can see all those videos which has been posted. And every Saturday or every alternative Saturday, we will have the knowledge sharing presentation. It's all our research group. Myself, Dinesh Mandian, and Gautam, Siva, Sasikala, Bashir Ahmed, Siva Kumar, everyone are part of our research group. So totally we are 10 people of our research group in this data science alone on an artificial intelligence. Aya, who is from IoT, so he will be joining shortly. We also conduct our meetups at IIT Madras, which is going to held up in first week of April or last week of April or first week of March. You can attend that as well. Thank you for your time. And if there is any doubts, you can get back to us on our my number. You can 978 424. So you can get back to us. Thank you. So all these presentation, which has been shared today, will be I will be sending as the recorded session in maybe in 2 days. No, give me some time until Monday. So I'll get this recording and I need to verify it and I'll be posting it by Monday. I'll be sharing the link across so you can have a view on complete Shivakumar's presentation on this Tableau A to Z. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, your number again, please.
Yeah, it's typed over here. It's 978 988 424. You can join us our group and also you can visit our website bigdatahandson.com.
Sorry,
It's typed over
nine.
in this chat. In this chat message, it's typed the phone number. It's 978 988 424. And the website is
Wonderful. Thank you.
bigdatahandson.com. Yeah. Okay, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you.